welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. Today we're going to talk about my June TBR. I had the best time in June reading all male romances, so let's get started and talk about those books. The first one I picked up is Playing Games. This is the first book in the FU series. This one's by Riley Hart. Every book in this series is written by a different author, but this was a great start to the series. Riley Hart is, as y'all know, one of my top male romance writers, and I feel like Riley Hart can give us a variety of different types of stories. In this one, we have just very low angst, just an easy read. Two guys that one's bi, one's gay, so there's no like, I'm not out, I'm in the closet kind of situation, which don't get me wrong, I absolutely love reading about. But it was just very low key, and it was just about these two characters and their separate stories and then their story together. So we have Brax and Ty. Brax is sort of our bad boy, but it's just an image on the outside. On the inside, he is such a sweetheart. He didn't have the best upbringing until he was brought up by his grandmother, who he absolutely loves and visits her almost every day in the home that she lives in. But he does reside in her old home with his brother. His brother is a prick, so there's some like issues with that, and that his brother takes advantage of Brax. Brax is basically trying to support his brother. He works at a bar, going to school. He's got this image, but he's a total sweetheart. And then in comes Ty. Like I said, Ty is bi. That rhymes. He, of course, is our typical jock sort of guy, rich, blonde, beautiful, but what they don't see is that his family has completely fallen apart. He despises his dad because his dad cheated on his mom, and he's just finding out that he has like a stepbrother. So he has that story and that issue that he's working on, and in the meantime, Brax and Ty sort of just click together. And it's a little banter back and forth because, you know, even though Brax does think Ty is very attractive, he's not sure he wants to get involved with, you know, like the jock kind of guy out there. So there's a little like back and forth banter between the two, but they decide to scratch the itch that they need to scratch and hopefully get over whatever this little attraction is. But of course, it doesn't work. I enjoyed the story. Like I said, it's just a very easy read. I enjoyed Brax and Ty's relationship. These guys are super hot together. I highly recommend it. I can't wait to get back into the FU series. I did listen to Playing Games as well. It is read by J.F. Harding, who is becoming like my top male romance narrator. His voice is just on point. It's sexy. It's just, I feel like it's like everything you need to tell the story. It was fantastic. Oh, and I gave it a 4-star. I keep forgetting to add these things. Then I picked up Stroker, which is the second book in the Big Bulls Mechanic series by K.M. Newhold. And this is Gates and Tallahassee's story. Gates is actually Steele's little brother. Steele is from our first book. So Steele basically owns the Big Bull Mechanics, and then we're gonna start hearing from all the other guys that work at Big Bull Mechanics. So Tallahassee is actually one of Steele's best friends, and he works at Big Bull, of course. And he and Gates have had like a little off and on type of relationship, more of a secret relationship, because they don't want Gates, they don't want Steele to know. But there are some issues with like Gates. He's not like one to settle down type, but what I did, I gave this book 3.5 stars because I personally had a few issues with it. Now we do get a little bit of Gates and Tallahassee in the first book, which they're joking back and forth and stuff is you know, it's funny, it's in the background or whatever, but it was brought to the forefront in this book, and I got annoyed with it. I really got annoyed with Gates and all his like stupid pranks, like just taking the door off of its hinges for Tallahassee's bedroom and blowing you know, one of those loud horns in the house while Tallahassee's trying to get some sleep, and like cock blocking him and all kind of, I got annoyed with it. I was like, okay, enough's enough. You either like this guy and you want to be with him, or you don't, and you don't trust yourself. So, and they're living together. So I just got annoyed with that situation, and I felt bad for Tallahassee, because Tallahassee really does have these feelings for Gates, and Gates has these feelings for Tallahassee as well, but it's like he's holding back because he knows that it's a possibility that he can run again, because he's ran so many times in the past with him and Tallahassee's relationship. So I had kind of issues with that, and then I also had issues with how Steele like kind of reacted to their relationship once they decide that it might be something that they want to do. Yeah, I had like my own little personal issues, so it's definitely, even though it's the second book, it's definitely not my favorite. I'm hoping for more fun in the rest of the series. Not that this wasn't fun, but like I said, I got annoyed with the pranks, and it was just enough, you know. I get that, you know, young boys probably do this to girls they like, you know, pulling their hair and that sort of thing, but we're older, we're mature adults in this book. Let's not play these stupid pranks. And like I said, it was funny in the background of the story in the first book, but for some reason when it was like dead center for this book, I was just like, okay, you're either you either need to get with this guy or get out. I mean, make up your mind. Then one day I was floating around in the pool, and I decided I wanted to bring a book in the pool with me. So I picked Cold Light of Day by Charlie Cochet. This is a little novella from the 10 series. This is like considered like book 1.5. I'm still waiting for book 2 from the 10 series. Book 1 is out. It is called, I can't read that from over here, and I forgot the name of it. Gone But Not Forgotten. There it is. It just like appeared. Anyway, so this is a little novella. It's based around Christmas time, which I had no clue before I started reading it. But you know, whatever. It was really cute. I enjoyed it. It's very sort of fast paced, I guess, because you know it is a novella. So we do have a couple that have history, like they know each other. So it's not like it took them a while to connect. It wasn't like insta love kind of thing. So we have Wolf. Wolf has many names because he's basically like a secret agent, or more like an assassin, secret assassin kind of guy. Anyway, he had a partner early on in his career. His brother works for the Thirds. So you will, if you've read the Thirds or you plan on reading the Thirds, you will recognize Wolf comes into the series a couple books in. I really enjoyed his character in the 3rd series, and so far I like his character now. But in this little novella, we see a little softer side of Wolf. So anyway, like I said, he had a partner in his early days of being an assassin. Of course, it was you know, a secret job. Their families always thought that they worked for like a security company of some sort. But anyway, his partner had a brother, Sean, and I don't think they have history, but Sean's always had sort of like a crush on Wolf. Now Sean knows Wolf as Cain. Like I said, Wolf has many names. Wolf is not actually his name, but he's a Wolfarian, so there you go. He can turn into a wolf. So anyway, Sean invites Wolf over to spend Christmas Eve with him at his brother's cabin. So yeah, so we have like a little hot and steamy little Christmas Eve story between Wolf, or Cain, and Sean. And of course there's a little bit of action, you know, because Wolf/Cain is like this secret assassin agent or whatever, so he's always got to be on the lookout for somebody trying to get at him. So of course we have a little bit of that going on. It's like some people attack the cabin, so there's some action, there's some sexy times, and there's also some Dex and Sloan, which I absolutely loved, which definitely brought a little lightheartedness and humor to the story. So yeah, it was a cute little novella I read in the middle of summer that's based in Christmas. Then I picked up The New Guy by Serena Bowen. Loved this read. Well, I listened to it. Narration was phenomenal. Two of my favorites, Teddy Hamilton and J.F. Harding, narrated The New Guy. So we have Gavin and we have Hudson. Gavin has a stepdaughter from his previous marriage. Her name is Jordan. She is 7 years old and she's super fun to read. I loved listening to her being involved in the story between Gavin and Hudson. Gavin lost his husband in a tragic accident, and Jordan was actually adopted by Gavin's husband, which his name was Eddie, and his wife, or maybe fiance at the time. I don't remember. It's very small in the book. So anyway, this is how we have Jordan, and this is how Gavin has become like her guardian, basically. Now we do have Eddie's mother-in-law that's weaved into the story, and she's a piece of work. So just prepare yourself. So Gavin is moving, he himself and Jordan and his sister Reggie, who is also sort of living with them as she's, I think she plays in a band. Anyway, she's living with them. You don't hear much from her, but she is in the story. She's a great character, just very supportive for Gavin. And they move because Gavin has a new job. So Gavin is like an athletic trainer of some sort. So he takes care of the guys on the team. If they have, like problems like shoulder pain or back pain, or I thought at first he was like some sort of physical therapist, but it does say athletic trainer. Yeah, I have in my notes that I think he's a medic. But then I have on the side athletic trainer. So anyway, so him and Hudson meet at a bar that Gavin decides to go to before he starts his new job, just to, kind of get a feel of the area. Now Hudson is not out. He's a closeted hockey player. And his agent is his dad, which right there is red flags. That is not a good situation. And if you've read the story, or if you go to read the story, you know and realize how that becomes a problem between Gavin and Hudson, especially with Hudson's career and his choice on how he decides to go about his career. So they meet at this bar, and they're kind of flirty with each other. Looks like they're gonna go home with each other, and then they realize they live in the same building. So in Hudson's mind, that means that Gavin's either a new player or he has something to do with his team. So like he gets it right off the bat, and sure enough, when they go in for like work or practice the next day, there's Gavin. And so Hudson sort of like avoids him a good bit of the time before they decide that they're gonna do this in secret for a little while. But this too was to me, a very easy read. It was low angst, very little drama. Of course, there's, little drama here and there. We have the mother-in-law of, Eddie's mom, who is Gavin's mother-in-law, kind of giving him a rough time about taking Jordan away from where they live, and she's just being awful in this story. And so we have that little problem with Gavin, and then of course the problem of how Hudson is not out, and he's letting his father kind of not only run his career but run his life. And then we have Hudson, who's scared his secret's gonna get out and his career is gonna be over. Even though he wants to come out, he wants to tell his team, wants to tell his coach, his dad keeps telling him, no, it's not the right time. It was like light drama in that sort of sense. And of course, the secret relationship doesn't always work out. But of course, there's a happily ever after at the end. But I really enjoyed the story. I couldn't put it down. I continue to want to listen to it. The narration is superb, like I said. Definitely highly recommend if you have not read The New Guy yet. 5 stars. Next, I picked up The Boyfriend Comeback. This is by Lauren Blakely. Again, a very like low angst, sort of low drama type of read. There's no questions about really sexuality in here. So we have Jason and Beck. Jason and Beck actually meet. There's a little prequel in this book called, what's it called? The Boyfriend Kickoff. So they meet at like a little animal rescue event. They take pictures with kittens, and I'm done. I'm done. I'm all in. Hot guys and kittens, yes, please. Also, they are both quarterbacks for their teams. Beck has actually had a secret crush on Jason for many years, and so he doesn't hesitate to say yes when Jason invites him over to a party he's having. This is kind of where their relationship starts, but there's a misunderstanding that starts at this time as well, and their second date doesn't happen. And Jason just kind of thinks that it's, oh well, he's in the closet and he's not ready to come out. It's fine. I don't want to fool with anybody like that. So he just kind of blows it off, and when he does talk to Beck, he just tells him, oh, don't worry about it, it's fine, you know, whatever. So there's no like fighting against it. Both these two guys are very mature about the situation. And like I said, Jason's out. He doesn't want to get stuck in a relationship back in the closet. Now, Beck is not necessarily in the closet, but their relationship wouldn't be a good thing. So Beck ends up being traded to Jason's rivalry team. And it's both Los Angeles teams, I think. I'm not a big football fan. I have no idea. But anyway, they are rival teams. So Jason's quarterback for Eagles. I don't know. The Eagles. Don't quote me on that. And Beck's the quarterback for another team. So yeah, so they do these promotions where everybody loves their little banter between each other. They have like a podcast that they're doing as well, where they kind of banter back and forth, give each other shit, basically, you know. But it's very lighthearted. It's nothing like I said, there's no like hate or like true rival. They're just like kind of playing the part. And then on the inside, they could possibly be a secret relationship going on later on, as the confusion resolves. Like I said, there's a little misunderstanding at the beginning. There's also the fact that they just don't think they can truly be together in the open, just because of the fact that they are on rival teams. It could be bad for the team. It could be bad for the fans. I don't know. But it was a fun story. It was a good, fun, like I said, low angst, low drama. There's no really big issues. It's just their story, and it's kind of forbidden, and they're trying to make it work. I had a good time with it. And of course, I listened to this because when I saw it was narrated by Teddy Hamilton and J.F. Harding, I was immediately, yes, I want to listen to this. 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Another 5-star read for the month of June. This is Pride High, book 1, read by J. Bell. J. Bell he just knows how to tell a story. I absolutely loved his Something Like series. If you haven't heard of that series or heard of J. Bell, I advise you to check it out. Now it's very sad and emotional, but it's so good. So now we have the Pride High, and I think the second book just recently came out like a few months ago, and that's where I found this, as I was looking for new releases, and I found the second book to this one. So I was like, well, I gotta start at the beginning. So this is a coming of age, just young adult LGBTQ, these kids just trying to find out who each other are. It was so much fun. It's based in the 90s, 1995 to be exact. They are seniors in high school, so that was basically me. I'm a senior class of 95, so I was just ecstatic to read this book. The nostalgia is all there. I absolutely loved it. So we have a couple characters that we're following. Now I did listen to this. It was narrated by Talia Carver. Fantastic job. This narrator really brought out the story and just like made it real. I also absolutely loved it. So we have Anthony. Anthony he knows he's gay, but he hasn't really spoken about it just yet. You know, he hasn't quite come out, I guess. And he is in love with his best friend, Omar. Omar is not gay, but there's a little experimentation that happens. But he is infatuated with a young girl that works at the record store. Her name is Sylvia. She has a little bit of a background as well. Her family are Hispanic, I believe, and her parents, they speak English, but it's not well English. So Sylvia kind of pulls the family, and she's very protective, and you know, like tries to kind of keep them, not a secret, but she does not really talk about her family. So there's a little background story there, but Omar is definitely into her. And then we have Ricky. Ricky is the new guy in town. He has moved from, I don't remember where, but he did have a boyfriend, I think from Washington, I think where it was from. But he did have a boyfriend there. They ended up parting ways when Ricky had to move, and he's just kind of been scoping out the scene online. He hasn't he was out in his other school, but he hasn't really said anything yet to his peers, but he doesn't really have any friends yet. He eventually does get involved with Anthony and Omar's little group of friends, so there's a little story there. There's little stories happening everywhere. And then we have Cameron. Cameron is kind of like your boy next door in school. He's also closeted. He knows he's gay, but he's not ready to come out yet. And then we have Mindy. She's just like whatever. She's just boy crazy. She just wants a little piece of everything. She was a fun character, but she was a really good character and kind-hearted. It was very just another just kind of light-hearted, just sweet type of read. And I love the 90s nostalgia. I can't wait to continue on with this story. 5 stars. Then we have The Sheriff's Secret. Now I did physically read this book. This is in my book. I didn't bring it in my room with me, but it's that big like rainbow book I have that I bought from Kay Webster's website. I have not been able to find it since I bought it. It's been sold out. Otherwise I would link it down below, but there are the individual books that are available. So this series is written by Kay Webster as well as, anyway, it's 2 authors. I apologize, I can't think of the other author's name. But anyway, Kay Webster wrote this one, Sheriff's Secret. This is the first book in the Briggs Fairy Bay series. So this is about the town's sheriff. His name is Jackson. Jackson is, well, is obvious what his secret is. Jackson has known he was gay since high school. In fact, he had a relationship with his best friend in high school that ended kind of badly. Kian was his name, if I'm saying that, Kian. But they still live in the same town. Kian owns he owns like a little gay wine bar and club. So there's that little background of a story, and our sheriff starts off as a super grumpy guy, of course, because you know he's gay and he's not able to express himself in this little small homophobic town. And then we have Dante. Dante is what Jackson calls his big city man. Dante is from New York. He decides he's going to buy this place at Briggs Ferry and turn it into a bed and breakfast. And he brings along his sister as well as his little brother. His parents passed away, so he's basically kind of their caretaker, although his sister's, you know, much older, and you know she can kind of take care of her own, but there is his little brother who is still in high school. So there's a little bit of drama there. So we have problems with Dante's brother in high school as well as Jackson's brother in high school. So there's a story there, and then the story of Dante and Jackson, how Dante, there's something about Jackson that Dante can't put his finger on, but he wants to keep trying to figure it out. So he nudges the sheriff a little bit throughout the book until the sheriff sort of breaks down. So of course there's a little secret relationship there. There's, like I said, this is a homophobic little town. There's some bullying that sort of happens at school with Jackson's brother as well as Dante's brother, and there's actually bullying that's going on in town with Dante and his family, just because they know that Dante is gay. Even though they have gays in their little small town, they are fearing that the gays are taking over. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, so I had, you know, a few little issues there with the book. But I mean, overall, the story was really, really good. The banter and the tension between Dante and Jackson was super hot. Their time together was super sexy, super hot, steamy, all the words you want to throw into there. But it was like things just kind of kept them apart. Like they couldn't find their way like to truly each other. Things were like holding Jackson back, and things were like threatening to Dante that he was to a point where he was ready to give up and bring his family back to New York. So it was a good little drama as well as a hot, sexy story between Jackson and Dante. I really did like it. In fact, I gave it 5 stars. So it was really good. It does have, like I said, some bullying, some homophobic issues in there, some drama, and yeah. But it was a good story. Next, I picked up Turn Me On. This is the second book in the Winner Takes All series. Which I forgot to mention that's what this book was. This is the first book in Winner Takes All, and second book in Winner Takes All. Turn Me On by Lauren Blakely. This is a story between Zane and Maddox. Zane is a professional baseball player, and Maddox is a new agent that comes into the team of agents that I guess manages Zane's team. So another little like forbidden type of romance here. We have an agent and a player, which is not a good thing. Maddox knows that he should not, you know, be involved with one of his clients for sure. So there's a little bit of that kind of background story, another little bit of a secret relationship between these two guys. I wasn't really that into this story as I was with the boyfriend comeback. I was really into Jason and Beck, as I wasn't that crazy, not that I wasn't that crazy about Maddox and Zane. It was just like the story was just kind of meh. Like there was just like nothing there. Yeah, okay, we have an agent and we have a baseball player. They hook up, they know it's forbidden, things are kept secret, they part ways, they can't take being apart. You know, it was just kind of like there was nothing. I don't know, I don't know what it was, but there was something that just didn't latch on for me, I guess. I don't know. I gave it, what is my rating for this? I gave it 4 stars because why did I give it 4 stars? I feel like this would be more like a 3.5. Now that I'm, you know, thinking back on it, that it wasn't really, I even have here, I like it, but it's a little slow is what I have in my notes. Yeah, then I have, besides the forbidden romance, there was really no other drama. So yeah, this is a lot smaller than the boyfriend comeback, but there was, I don't know, these, Zane and Maddox just didn't like, there wasn't like a fizz there for me. It's hard to explain, I don't know. But I feel like this was more like a 3.5 star. Their sex scenes were super hot, don't get me wrong. The chemistry between them was great, but there was just something about the story that just wasn't keeping me focused. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But I mean, I did enjoy it. I did listen to this. This is another one. This was read by Teddy Hamilton and Jacob Morgan this time. which Jacob Morgan is also a very good male romance narrator. But yeah, there was just something that just didn't spark for me with this book, but it was still a good read. Very, you know, light, low drama, whatever. I can't come up with any more words. And then I finished the month off with Blaine For The Win. This is by Robbie Couch. And I did listen to this because it was read by Michael Crouch, who is also one of my kind of favorite male romance narrators. Now he does a lot of young adult stuff, but I just love his voice. I love his voice. This was cute, but it was also just not, you know, I don't know. There was something about it that didn't spark for me. I did give it a 3.5 star. So we have, of course, we have Blaine. Blaine's boyfriend of a year, his name was Joey, breaks up with him basically because he's not good enough. So like Joey's parents are like very, you know, like high class, and I think maybe one of is his father like a lawyer of some sort? I don't know, but they're very hoity-toity, and they want better for their son, Joey. So apparently Blaine is not that person. So he breaks up with Blaine, and Blaine is in love with Joey, and he wants to try to get him back. So he wants to try to be that person that Joey and his parents want him to be. Which I don't agree with, but you know, this is how things go. We are in high school here. So Blaine goes out for like senior class president, and this is how he thinks he's going to win Joey back. Joey is also a piece of work. I didn't care for him, but you know, it brought something to the story. And then of course Blaine has his little group of friends, and then he meets a guy named Daniel, who is actually the son of one of Blaine's favorite like coffee shops. And Blaine is like an artist, so he does what do you call those things, murals that they paint on the wall and such. That's what he enjoys doing, and this is how he meets Daniel, because Daniel is the son of, like I said, his favorite coffee shop owner. And they become friends. Daniel is bi, but he's never been with a guy, so there seems to be a little something there. But like I said, Daniel knows Blaine's doing all this for Joey. So he kind of keeps himself at a distance, and then he truly doesn't know how he feels, since this is the first time he's actually felt something for another guy. So there's that little story in there as well. But it's basically Blaine going out, not going out, but trying to win Joey back by campaigning to be the senior class president. So, and there's little dramas here and there within the story. It was cute, it was fun, I enjoy the narration. I think it's everything that you would expect from, like, you know, sort of like a YA little male romance, I guess. It was cute. I don't know what else to say about it. All right, that's it. These, and then of course the other books that I don't have physically with me. That's all the books that I read in the month of June. I had a great reading month, I feel like, for the month of June. I enjoyed everything I read. Let me know in the comments what were some of your favorite reads in the month of June. Hope everyone's enjoying their summer out there, staying safe, staying cool. It's been super hot over here. But I hope you're all doing well. Hugs from me all around, and I'll see y'all very, very soon in another video. Bye, y'all.